So, Matthew Reed, it is December 14th, 1989, when you finally get back to your home in the Hampton neighborhood of Baltimore, Maryland, which is where you live. You had driven back there from Cambridge, Massachusetts, basically just took the whole day off for yourself, and then going back in on the 15th, your boss, Frank Valentine, basically told you to take the rest of the month off. Considering that you have been doing good work for the NSA overseas, he's aware of the Romeo Task Force. It was partially his idea to have the CIA and the NSA link up and avoid bureaucratic snafus, if you will, to do the work that needs to be done without all the red tape and paperwork and everything. The paperwork can come later. You did, during that time, write up an operational debrief report for the group. Your usual method of dropping it off in a dead drop a few blocks from your house is what you do. You basically put it in a small little metal tin that's magnetic and attaches underneath a park bench. So you did that on the 14th. The 15th, you went into work like a normal day and told, nope, take the rest of the month off. And that's kind of nice, considering that Christmas and New Year's Eve is around the corner. How does Reed feel about Christmas time with his family?
He's actually looking forward to it this year, especially being away for this long. His family isn't he doesn't have a deep bond with them. He appreciates them, even though he and his older brother sometimes butt heads, aka his older brother is getting kind of annoyed at him, and he ignores him, which is getting him way more annoyed. But generally, he likes his family, so he's looking forward to it because he doesn't get to see them too often, and especially being in Europe for that much during the year. And
yeah, you missed a couple Christmases.
Yeah, so he's looking forward to it. He's also looking forward to seeing his nephews and nieces again. Yeah,
your parents, George and Carol Reed, they live in Annapolis, Maryland. You take the next week or so getting some gifts together for your parents, for your brother, and for your sister and her kids, as well as your uncle, Benjamin, and your aunt, Stacy. And if anything, would he head over a day early, spend the night on Christmas Eve, or what would that look like?
Yeah, Reed has so much time off. He doesn't have anything to take care of at home, especially animals or anything like that. So yeah, he arrives at the 24th, maybe even midday, to first of all meet everyone and celebrate. I think their house is big, but now that his little sister Maria is married and has 3 kids, they're getting the priority of where they stay. His older brother Josiah is still living. He's also living in Annapolis, but not at his parents' home. He bought a new home with his wife. So yeah, with his parents, it's mostly Maria and her husband Herbert who stay with the 3 children.
I'm gonna say that they come from a little bit further away. They come from, let's just say, Fairfax, Virginia. That's a decent enough distance away that driving there to Annapolis and having to drive back in the same day would probably warrant them staying, overnight.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay. Reed, you head down from Baltimore to Annapolis on the 24th, and, midday, you get there to help your parents, prepare, because your mother has to do some prep of cooking. There has to be some things that can be done ahead of time. And, of course, it's just good to see your family. It's good to see your mom, your dad, even your older brother, Josiah. And then there's Maria Fern. She took the Fern name when she married Herbert. And it's always good to see Clovis and Becky and Jackson, and that your uncle and aunt Ben and Stacy will be there. So
yeah, he also is looking forward to meeting Benjamin again, because he's gonna be staying at their house. He had the option of taking a hotel, but since they live close by and his parents are booked out with the Fern family, he's staying with his uncle.
Yeah, he was a hard man. He was in the Second World War. Also a cop, retired cop. If anyone, you probably in a way feel pretty close to him, like your father. It makes sense. You know, they both served together during the Second World War, and both true red-blooded Americans, more than anything else. We'll say that, like, you know, you spend some time together before heading back to Ben and Stacy's house for the night, and then you all head over in the morning, and, you know, you bring your bundle of gifts. There's so many gifts under this massive fucking Christmas tree, and there's light, you know, it's lit up in a multicolored array. There's all sorts of different fake garland and wreaths and decorations and fake candles all around the house, and it feels good. It's a nice feeling of being at home, and in a way, some parts of your mind, you don't have to worry about other things so much. And, you know, you're all sitting around the tree, you're giving your gifts out, and your niece, Becky, it's her final year in high school. She is, you know, she's trying to become a veterinarian, but in her spare time, she's, you know, from what Maria's told you, she's taken up knitting. She's particularly excited to give you this one gift, and she says, Uncle Matt, I think you're really gonna like this. And she just hands you this thin red metallic box with a green bow on top of it, and she's just beaming and smiling, all happy, hands it to you.
Yeah, with a bright smile, retakes it and says, "Oh, I will be the judge of that, huh?" And then opens the little box.
Yeah, and inside there is this really, it's a scarf. It's a really nicely knitted scarf. It looks thick. Like, this will keep your neck warm when it's really, really cold out. It's got this muted green color. It's not like dark green. It's more of like a light green. And it's got white trimming running along the side of it. It has your initials. It says MR on it. And you pick it up and you feel it, and it is the softest thing, but also you know that this will keep your neck warm in the coldest of months.
I think he genuinely smiles. Normally he really does set up a smile to the outside world to make them think that he likes stuff. However, this time he really does like it. And even though it really like counters his blue and yellow, really ugly Christmas sweater that he's wearing, he is smiling from ear to ear while putting the green scarf on, and just like goes through her hair and just says, "How did you know I was missing one of those, huh?"
Yeah, Clovis, for his part, with kind of a shit-eating grin on his face, looks over to you and says, "Looks like a rainbow puked on you."
Sure, buddy. Looks like you're missing one too, huh?
He doesn't say anything, he just shakes his head. Do you think to so many times when you were working overseas in Berlin in particular cold months, where scarves you had were just full of holes, but you really could have used a scarf like this when you're overseas? Something that would genuinely keep your neck warm and keep the cold away, and this is a really nice gift. It's like the first real gift that you've gotten that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, since you haven't been home in a few years to celebrate Christmas. Becky's like, "Do you like it?"
"Oh, I love it. I don't like it. I love it, Becky. Thanks. Thanks a lot."
And she comes and gives you a hug.
Yeah, with one arm around her, I pull her in closer, give her a hug, and then say, "I think Clovis might need one too, huh? I think he's a little bit jealous."
Yeah, he wouldn't wear one of these.
Yeah, if you make him one with numbers on it, maybe he'll like it.
At that, you can hear your sister Maria start to laugh, and Herbert just smiles, and everybody's kind of like enjoying the humor of the moment, and Clovis is kind of like turning his head away, and it's like, come on, you know, like with that kind of a gesture, like he doesn't want the attention on himself. And yeah, for the gift exchanges continue, and they go on, and you help clean up some of the paper and the wrapping and the packaging. You stuff it all into a large garbage bag, and your father, George, he comes up to you and he says, "You haven't taken that scarf off since Becky gave it to you."
Well, I mean, it's a nice scarf, and why should I take it off?
Yeah, she's got a knack for that kind of thing. Your sister always, whenever she calls and she talks a lot, and she keeps going on saying, "Oh, I swear she could do that kind of thing and make money off of it." And not have to go to vet school and then she, but that's just, it's good to see that she's got passion.
You always need something to take the edge off, and if it's just knitting, then come on.
Yeah. Hey, how have things been? I know you've been overseas, and I know you can't really. He lowers his voice a little bit. You can't really talk about what you do. I know that. I understand that. But you all right? Are you gonna be home now?
He is one of those people who calls his parents by their first names.
Oh, not even mom and dad?
Nope.
Oh man. Okay.
I think he has a shit ton of charisma. However,
when it comes to his family,
no. Generally, he just is weird. He can just hide it incredibly well.
Okay.
Behind his mask of charisma. So, yeah, he says, "Oh shit, George. I mean, what can I say? Yeah, I'm probably gonna be home a little bit, or the Cold War's cooling down even more. There's just a little glint of embers back in the ashes. So, I think I'm gonna be home for quite a while. But maybe everything changes. You never know. I'm not getting paid to think about the biggest pieces of world politics. I'm just getting paid to help
there's
get
always,
them into motion."
Man once said there's always wars and rumors of wars and all that other fun stuff. But sounds like you're going to be home, stateside more, that's good. Your mother will be happy if you stop by more often,
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I get that. I gotta get more time. Currently, I'm having a whole month off to compensate all the time. I've been working
good.
Basically around the clock there.
That's good. And he puts a hand on your shoulder and just looks at you. Doesn't hug you because that's not what a man of his stature and age and of that time would do. But that's about the closest sort of gesture that he can give to you to show that he cares. And then there's a crash of glass from the kitchen, and you can hear your mother go, "Ah, shoot." And then, "George!" And then, there's a knowing look shared between father and son, like, this woman.
Yeah, he just gives a knowing look. I think Carol called.
Yeah. Here, take this outside, will you? And he thrusts the garbage bag at you and walks off to the kitchen. And you do walk outside. You walk out to the side of the house where, the garbage cans would be. You take the garbage bag and you stuff it in there. And you do notice as you come outside that snow flurries are starting to fall on the ground and moving through the air, and you decide to take a walk.
Okay. Before Reed takes the walk, I think he would tell his family. So that they don't think like he brought out the trash and then just vanished.
Okay, yeah, then let's, okay, so after you put the trash away, the garbage bag in the trash, and you notice that the sky is starting to unleash snow flurries. You think it's a good time to take a walk, but you then walk back to the front door, you open it up, you call in that you're going to take a walk. And you hear some voices of acknowledgement variously from your aunt, your uncle. Basically everybody who gives a shit speaks up and is aware that you're going for a walk. And then you close the front door and you begin just walking down the street with your hands in your coat pockets with your brand new scarf bundled up around your neck. The only things that you can hear are the distant sound of traffic going across the bridge into Annapolis, and the Naval Academy is across the Severn River, and you're just walking down the street past these other houses. You look into the windows, you can see some people have the curtains drawn back, and you can see various different families just celebrating Christmas. And for all of the world, everything else just seems to melt away, and it's just you, the sounds of the distant city, and the distant sound of the water flowing. And you're at peace. Not in a depressive sort of way, but in a true solitary moment of peace as you just put one foot in front of the other and you just go where your steps take you.
Yeah. Reed enjoys or can enjoy the company of others, but he finds real solace in this. The quietness, the world around him seemingly having stopped. Everyone's with their families, or most people are with their families, and he's just walking through the first little flocks of snow that are currently falling, and he is enjoying this very much.
Eventually, you trace a path on an adjoining street, and you walk back around. You get back to your parents' house. You know, you spend the rest of the day enjoying the time with your family. Dinner time eventually comes around. Your father had been you know since yesterday that your father had been very insistent about having ham this year instead of like a turkey like they've done in years past. You know this, you remember this from your childhood, but this time your father wanted a ham. But there is a large ham hock in the middle of the table later on. There's stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberry sauce, green bean casserole. There is macaroni and cheese.
Lots of food.
Lots of food. Lots and lots of good. And you've had some shitty meals over the last couple of years on Christmas by yourself. This is like heaven.
Yeah, he remembers, and he's like thinking back to the last Christmas, sitting alone for most of the time in this shitty East Berlin apartment where the paint's coming off of the walls and the wallpaper is weirdly yellow. And he just thinks back of those times where he warmed up a tin of soljanka soup to quote-unquote enjoy while also watching a target.
And this time there is no target. There's just family, good feelings and good emotions, and so much food. Dinner is completed at some point. You eat until you can't eat anymore, but you help your parents clear the table with the help of your brother and your sister. Strangely, in times past, you know that you and Josiah hadn't really gotten along, but he's been pretty amicable this time around. Like there's something in the air that's different. Maybe it's the start of a new decade. Maybe it's the threat of nuclear war ending and being put behind them. Maybe it's this sensation that this long Cold War is no longer in place. It could be all those things. It's really hard for Reed to determine that right now, but you do what you do for a reason. Not just your work with the group, but the work you do with the NSA is important. Even if you can't understand the big picture of it and you're just a man on the ground. But if this is what it could result in, gotta keep doing it, you know? We fast forward now to December 31st of 1989. A new decade is upon the world. Who knows if it's just going to be just another year like any other, or if there's going to be any sort of significant change. But what does Matthew Reed do on New Year's Eve?
Seeing that like New Year's Eve is one of the last days he gets off, and yeah, it's the change into the 90s. Reed takes the time alone again. He mostly is alone, and he likes it, as we've established in the scenes before. Yeah, he takes some time, cooks himself a nice steak, reverse sear. He takes some pride in his cooking, even if he doesn't do it too often. But he gets himself a nice ribeye.
Ooh.
Gets a good cut. He
anything on the side?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just some honey glazed carrots.
Oh.
I've said he's taken a liking to it. He just takes the time to do all of that. Nothing really alcoholic to drink.
Not even a beer?
No, not when he's alone. He doesn't drink when he's alone. He always sees it as a public or a social activity. Not necessarily public, because that's kind of but he sees it as a social thing, and drinking with friends, but not alone. So he just drinks water. He's very plain with that. And then when it's like 11 p.m., 1 hour until fireworks officially go nuts, there's probably some people already around him, and you already hear the little snaps of little fireworks going off. At 11 p.m. he grabs himself a nice thick jacket and the green scarf that he got and wanders outside. Just, as is tradition, when he's home and when he can make it, he likes to take a really long walk, taking in all that's happening around him, and at midnight stopping to see some of the fireworks.
I would say you would definitely not get into Baltimore just straight up from walking an hour. You would not even get that far. But you would walk far enough away from your home to be where, like, at least in Hampton, you know, you'd be where the hubbub of activity is. There's people gathered outside. There's teenagers running around. You see couples embracing each other, hugging each other, looking towards the city itself. And at midnight, you can hear people just yell, "Happy New Year!" and fireworks start exploding in the city or on the outskirts of the city. More than likely, it would be from the water, because a lot of the fireworks activities happen near Fort McHenry National Monument and Shrine, which is a Civil War monument. And also, Baltimore was historically where the Star-Spangled Banner was at least formed. So there's a lot of history. As a resident, there's a lot of history imbued within this city, and all your troubles melt away. You look up at the sky, the colorful display of fireworks, and this is good. And then you begin the long walk back to your row house home, and you do know that you have January 1st off. It's a federal holiday, and then you have to go back on the 2nd, and you turn in for the night. A new year is upon us. It's now 1990. The 80s are done and gone. It is a new decade. It is a new time. And yet, who knows what lies ahead in the future, at least for now.
Even though he's been feeling really comfortable, when he does go to sleep, he remembers back to the mission and when he wandered these weird fields at night, and when he forgot to he was still dressed somewhat, and that translated to the dream. So when he goes into bed, he leaves the shoulder holster on. He leaves the P7 in it, and he just thinks, next time this shit happens, I'm prepared.
Give me a PAL ×5 roll.
Hell yeah, buddy. That is a success with a 62 under 65.
So as you settle into bed with the additional added weight of your shoulder holster and the P7, it's a little uncomfortable. You have to adjust yourself laying in bed to not be laying on it. Sleep does come eventually. The only thing that you can remember of dreaming of upon awaking is a voice of a man who has appeared twice in your life now. That's all you remember is the voice. And the words that were said to you in that Hispanic accent of the man named Lorenzo. He says to you, "You're more connected to this place than you think, amigo." That's all you remember.
Huh. I think Reed wakes up more confused than before. Every interaction with Lorenzo, as he calls himself, has been confusing him over and over again.
This is the third time he's appeared to you.
Yeah, he just sits upright, shakes his head, and goes like, "What the fuck is this guy's deal?"
And then you prepare yourself to go back to work behind a desk at the NSA. It's January 27th, 1990. It's a Saturday. Matthew Reed, after having the rest of December off to basically just unwind and decompress from basically the entirety of your overseas excursion as being part of your job with the NSA, and your boss told you to come back at the start of January, and you have been basically working a desk. There's been talk of where you could possibly be useful next. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty, given that the Cold War is effectively coming to an end, and Germany is starting its process of reunification. With all that being said, events of the last month continue to linger in your mind. Mainly thoughts of how you could have done things better. You're thinking of how you could go about doing this. And so, on this particular Saturday, you're in your home in Hampton, Baltimore, Maryland. What's your day looking like right now?
Well, it is probably late, maybe after dinner.
Okay.
And yeah, haven't thought about like the last last mission, thought about stuff that went wrong, stuff that he normally can do, but it just didn't work out for him this time. He will go into his... It's hard to say it's an office. It's just a tiny room with a little desk where he keeps all of his notes. And behind one of the drawers is like a secret little box where he keeps most of the, well, let's say names that shouldn't be just straight up lying on the desk.
Right.
So yeah, he pulls out a handwritten note and punches in the number to one of his bonds, good old friend of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hopes that he picks up.
It takes a couple of rings, but you punch in the number for a man you served with in Vietnam and a man who you've actually done a mission for the group with, Captain Forrest James of the United States Navy. And after a couple of rings, you hear his voice on the other end of the phone.
This is James.
Hey, James. It's Reed. You have a minute?
Maddie Reed?
There's a long sigh. He never liked that name, but he then says, Yeah, that one, Maddie Reed. Oh fuck.
Been a year too long, Maddie. It's good to hear from you.
It's been a turbulent year. Spent up to 2/3 of the year fixing the European shit. So.
You still out there chatting for those NSA Black Ops over the water?
Well, if we're talking over the phone, I'm gonna say absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Well, if you're calling, probably means you want a face-to-face. Am I guessing right?
100% right. Yeah. I'm gonna need a little bit of advice from someone who's way better at face-to-face than I am. A little bit of boxing, maybe a little bit of shooting. Teaching me a few of your tricks, maybe.
I don't recall you being deficient in any of those particular categories back along the Mekong.
That's true, yeah.
You just need to sharpen up?
Exactly, yeah. Haven't been using them in the field for too much, mostly sitting around waiting for stuff to appear on the tapes. Last time I went out in the field, I've missed a bit, and I think I could really need some sharpening.
Well, you caught me at a good time, Eddie. I'm on a stateside rotation right now. I just got done the training drill with the team, and I do have some time on my hands, and as long as you're buying, well, I'm selling.
Wonderful, yeah. The bar after the training's on me, so let's meet.
Good. Maybe the bar after that, too.
And Reed, you do know of a particular gym nearby in Hampton that you have seen, but you have not really gone to. It is a combination of just a regular gym as well as containing a boxing ring. So you could rattle off the address to him if you wanted to meet there.
That does depend. How is Baltimore / Maryland with like gun ranges?
So there is actually a gun range in Glen Burnie, Maryland, that for purposes of, I'm just going to rebrand its name, it's called Paul's Hot Shots.
Hell yeah.
And there actually is a gun range in Glen Burnie close to where I live, and it's actually called Cindy's Hot Shots, but taking a little bit of artistic license. So, but yeah, you are aware of that gun range in particular. Depending on where Forrest James is coming from, you guys could meet there after you do your training in the boxing ring. Really depends on what he's feeling, if anything. He may have his suggestions of his own, but you also have your suggestions.
Listen, Maddie, I'm sick of this barracks, so let me come to you. Hopefully you're not somewhere on the West Coast, because I'm near DC right now.
Oh, no way. Yeah, that's perfect. Still in good old Baltimore. Let me just give you the address. We meet at Hampton. There's a little boxing establishment. Could start there. Go down south. Yeah, go down south to gun range and then circle back up. And if you want to, you can crash on my couch, so you don't need to get yourself a room after we're done drinking.
And this isn't going to be a deal where I show up and you're jacked up to a size about 3 times larger than I remember, and you get me back for stealing that last square of toilet paper in the Delta.
Maybe the guest toilet won't have any toilet paper, it's just sandpaper, but that's about it. No, I'm not gonna be super jacked.
I remember that, brother. Okay, yeah, I'll head on down.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
I'll see you then, buddy.
See you.
And he hangs up the phone.
Clink.
It's good to hear the sound of his voice, of a comrade, of somebody that you can know that you can rely on, and you know that someone has your back. Now, a question to you, Matthew Reed. Considering the dream that you had on the last mission and knowing what it's linked to, are you going to keep that to yourself?
100%.
Because you know how obsessive Captain James can be when it comes to hunting down certain elements of the unnatural.
Yeah, no, never been in contact with one of those, right? Am I right?
No, but
except when we actually were, yeah.
Yeah. It's like the man has a tendency to sniff these sort of things out somehow. Like I said, whether or not you decide to bring that up, that's totally up to you. But yeah, we'll say that you clean up. You said you had just finished eating dinner, so you finish cleaning up your plate, you put it in the sink, wash it off. Does he do anything the rest of the night?
Other than getting the guest room ready for a visitor, there's nothing else. The house is always clean. He's very meticulous about that, so that's easy. He gets everything done and heads to bed early, because that's going to be a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, it is going to be a long day. Yeah, you go to sleep. No dreams this time, which is fortunate considering the man you ran into back up in Massachusetts after the previous opera had been completed. But yeah, everything is normal, if one could call it that. The next morning comes around. It's January 28th. It is a Sunday now. You get in your AMC Eagle and you head to the boxing gym that is nearby. It's only about maybe like a 5-minute drive. You park your car. You got a duffel bag with a change of clothes inside, a towel, a water bottle, and you head inside. And there are folks in here. You see some people running on a treadmill. You see an African-American man hitting on a punching bag, and you got a older Hispanic-looking man that's basically like standing next to him, looking at him. You think maybe he's like a coach or something. But, you know, you hear the sounds of fist hitting the bag. You can hear the grunting that accompanies it. And a few moments later, waiting around, you see Forrest James enter the boxing gym and take it away.
He just, lifts one arm and just greets him with a, "Hey, shit-ass."
You piece of shit. He holds out his hand and then comes in for a big hug. Slaps you on the back.
Yeah, he gets a big hug.
You look like absolute garbage. You not getting any sleep?
It's been okay. I've just came from a long time in Europe, doing a lot of shit there, and then and he gets a bit quieter. Another operation for the group. Always sleep a bit shitty after that.
Yeah, none of us sleep. It keeps the head sharp. And believe it or not, might even help today. Brought something for you. He swings a duffel bag off of his shoulders and kind of throws it on the concrete floor in front of you fairly heavily and says, "Why don't you take a peek?"
Yeah, Reed kneels down and opens the duffel bag to look inside.
And depending on you, Matthew, your height might either sink or it might harden, but you see very familiar looking weight vests from PT training across the water from over a decade ago that you've done your best to probably forget.
Oh yeah. Just out of character. He is not super strong. He's just slightly at the top half of average. And his constitution is average because obviously he isn't like super in the field. And so he doesn't need that. His dex is quite good.
His heart probably sinks then.
Yeah, his heart sinks a little. He looks to Forrest and says, "All right, what's the deal? What are you getting back at me for, huh?"
We're gonna get you good and tired first. Gonna make sure that you're seeing double before I really put you through the paces. You want to sharpen up, don't you?
Ah, fuck yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Well, to sharpen up somebody like you, we've got to get creative. So strap that one on. Hopefully it doesn't smell too bad. He is smirking when he says that.
Reed doesn't take a sniff, but he gets one of the vests out and just with a look of not defeat, but maybe a disappointment, he puts it on.
There you go. He helps tighten the straps real quick. Practice motions. You almost feel like you're back in 78. He straps his own on. Says, "All right, cardio first, and then you're going to come at me. come at me like you mean it. And you're gonna mean it, because you're gonna be real pissed at me after the next 2 hours.
This sounds like good old times.
I'll leave it in your guys' hands. What would a cardio consist of and look like for the two of you?
So James is kind of calling the shots here. And starting with some basic PT fundamentals. We're doing push-ups, we're doing pull-ups, we're doing jump rope. And we're doing these in quick succession, in sets with only 30 seconds of rest in between. And we're doing this to the point of fatigue and limit. And when that limit is hit, that's when a very familiar barking command, a very special nostalgic tone perhaps for Matthew Reed, starts emanating from Forrest James as he pushes him harder and harder to get through this Tabata of hell. And once they're through about 20 minutes of moving very quickly through these exercises, always until failure. So the muscles are tired, they're just full of lactic acid, they all want to lock up. That's when he goes ahead and says, okay, come at me, mean it, and I'll show you the counters. Quick feet, read the intent. He goes ahead and steps 1 foot back, raises his fists in front of his face.
Likewise, he's super exhausted. Reed just takes a stance, like the moment he widens like the stance on his feet, the muscles start to burn and almost lock up, but he's pushing through, he's getting motivated as fuck. He raises his hands and he just coughs up a alright then, for old time's sake, huh?
And for new time's sake, we're gonna get you tough fast, kiddo.
I would like Reed to give me a unarmed roll, and I would like Forrest James to give me either an unarmed or a dodge, whatever you're feeling, man.
Cool, let's go with unarmed.
Go for it.
Oh my fucking god. I rolled a 100. Oh man, I mean it makes sense, training till failure and then it
that's
gets
amazing.
completely fucking knocked out.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, how do I want to play this? Let's see. Okay, so...
Okay, let me just first of all announce, Reed rolled a 100 over 72 for his unarmed.
Oof, magoof. I rolled a 36. I think I'm safe, but I'm more interested to know what's going on with you.
You are so tired just from that workout, Matthew Reed. It's been... You didn't realize this, but it's been quite some time since you've had to work this hard. The last time your body felt as in pain as it was when you were sent flying off of your feet up in that forest in New Hampshire.
Yep.
You start to move in towards Forrest James, kind of doing a little bit of a boxing shuffle, and you go to throw a punch, and you overcompensate your momentum, and James just steps out of the way, and you just, you're on the ropes essentially, like you get yourself caught on the ropes, and you are puffing and breathing hard and heavy right now. It's a little embarrassing.
Yep.
Good. But you're gonna want to drop that shoulder telegraph. Here, he actually helps you off of the ropes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh fuck.
And turns you around almost. He says, okay, you're tired, you're gasping for air, but the first thing you've got to do is get that breath under control. The same thing we did when we had each other's 6 going through those jungles. Breathe 1, 2, 3, 4 in, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing in your lungs, and you just keep cycling that through. And then you start throwing more punches my way, okay? You hear me? Get the breathing under control.
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3, and he just counts to himself and then says, you see why I need sharpening up, huh?
Brother, your form's fine, you're just tired, but that's how it's gonna be. You know that's how it's gonna be.
You're absolutely right, okay. 1, 2, 3, let's continue.
Yeah, give me another one. Give me another unarmed roll, and Forrest James, either a dodge or an unarmed roll to oppose.
Got a 27?
Ooh, 56 under 72.
You reposition yourself, Reed, and James repositions himself. You take his advice to heart this time. You, instead of to put it more specifically, You do make it look like you're going to swing with that arm again, but then you fake James out and you deliver a left hook, which does catch James off guard a little bit.
Now we're talking. Now you're mad, brother. Let's make it real. And at this point, you see James really square up. His fists turn into looser hands, almost like he's grasping something in the air that's not visible to you. But he starts moving a little bit more fluidly, rocking back and forth on his heels. His eyes narrow. He gets that sort of dark, shark-like bit of black in his pupils that seem to grow larger and larger.
Yep. Reed answers by taking like half a step back and heightening his defense, trying to stay really alert with like one fist covering half of his face, the other covering his torso, so that he can react to Forrest's attacks.
And I'm going to flip it around this time and to give, I want to, it is going to be another opposed roll, but this time, Reed, I want you to roll me dodge while Forrest rolls me an unarmed.
Yeah, which is what I do on a skill, so that's one of them. Yikes. I rolled a 79 over 43.
Got a 15 over here?
By the way,
Very
Max,
good.
should I mark stuff if I fail it in the home scene?
Yes.
Don't. Oh, wonderful. Then I can mark unarmed.
I'm a benevolent
Nice.
handler sometimes. Yeah, Chris, if you want to describe how that looks, considering that, he failed his dodge roll and you succeeded on your unarmed roll. Go for
Yeah,
it.
so at this point, as Reed strikes out, faking with a left hook this time and coming with a right uppercut, Forrest goes ahead and moves to the side like water. And his arms are around Reed's right and also at his waist. And a leg is behind both of Reed's. Reed has moved forward just a little bit off balance enough for Forrest to knock him to the ground in one quick motion. And ground fighting was never really your thing, Reed. I'm just making that up.
Oh, absolutely not, no.
And you've just found yourself in the worst place you want to be when you're dealing with James, because he now has you right where he wants you.
The moment Reed falls, the moment his feet get swiped from under him, he remembers the thing that happened last time, where he also wasn't fast enough, didn't get out of the way and landed on his back, lying exactly there, basically open to the mercy of his attacker, just being separated by one single fucking door that was on top of him. So yeah, he's having flashbacks to exactly that moment, and he is trying his hardest to get out of it, because even if it's a friendly sparring, Forrest has never been the dude to take it light, so he's trying his best to get out from underneath him.
Yeah, give me an unarmed roll.
Yep, success. 20 under 72.
I'm going to say that while James has you locked up in this position, you are able to basically start to get yourself free and up off the ground. It's difficult. You feel you're covered in sweat. You feel every inch of your body screaming against you from the previous cardio workout that, as you've come to now realize, you are severely out of practice. But the muscle memory is kicking in for the most part. And you get yourself off the ground. And you are able, and James, you find that he wiggles himself free, and Reed is getting to his feet.
James feels like something's off. He kind of hands off for a moment. He stands back up. He backs off a couple of feet. Matt, are you good?
He repinches the bridge of his nose and just says, yep. Basically the same thing happened. Well, not the same thing, but I also landed on my goddamn ass last time. Wasn't of any help.
That's where you went just now? Okay. Well, hey, let's take a break. Believe it or not, he points up to the clock. We've been at it for over an hour.
Yeah, that's the first time he takes a look at the clock and is super surprised that he even made it to an hour. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and
Now-
you both clear out of the ring. You go to rehydrate yourselves with water and just take a few moments to sit on a nearby bench and catch your breaths.
Anything in particular, Maddie, you're looking forward to that you arranged this reunion for? He smiles, kind of points out at the busy gym.
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, isn't it nice to see an old buddy?
Shit, we have more shitty memories than good ones. If you're calling me up, it's not just to get a drink, which, by the way, you still owe me one, but it's
Oh,
because
yeah,
you
for
want
sure.
to talk about something else, too.
Well, first of all, thought I could get guidance. You know, when we were out in the field together. He looks around so that nobody's too close and then continues. We were out in the field together, you know. Fucking Connie went insane. Shit like that happens. Nobody died. I've seen people die in the field before, but last time was different. Felt pretty fucking useless. You know, all the time sitting on my ass made me soften up. You know, it's not like you. You're sitting on your ass in a shitty East Berlin apartment listening to people talk about what the fuck they had at dinner.
Maddie, civilian life is not for men like us. It never will be. When you let yourself go even a little bit, you're denying that simple fact. He motions over to one of the weight vests that peeled off and threw onto the ground before sitting on the bench. I brought these not because I wanted to fuck with you. Well, I wanted to fuck with you a little bit, let's be honest, but it's to remind you that we don't get to walk away from the weight that we willingly put on our backs. If we're starting to feel like we're losing our edge, we're fooling ourselves. The only way forward for men like us, Maddie, brother, is to keep that edge honed. To wear the vest, wake or sleep. Do you get me?
He smiles. Oh, yeah, I get you. This is exactly what I needed to hear. And it stretches and says, what do you think? Did we rest enough?
Question for you before I kick your ass again. You ever think about putting that signet my way? My team could use somebody like you. We're deep in it. We're onto something big. I wouldn't mind having you at my back again, brother.
Well, you never know. War's cooling down. It's been cool the whole time, but it...
The war's not cooling down. He seems really angry for a moment. The war's just getting started, Maddie. The real one. The one behind all those idiots posturing from podiums. He looks out over the gem. His eyes are unfocused. Anyway, think about it. Let's go ahead and give you a couple new shiners. Something to remember me by. For the next year, you give me a call back and want to improve your range time.
Alright, yeah, let's do it. I'll think about it. Currently, I'm just sitting behind the desk, and that's absolutely nothing for me.
He nods.
The two of you put your vest back on. You get back in the ring. Basically go at it for another hour at this point. Lukas, so I want you to roll me your dodge again. We're going to do this the mechanical way.
Yeah. Come on. Yes! Fuck yeah, bitch! This is a 95 over 33.
Hell yeah.
I get to improve
That's what
it.
you want.
Yeah, man.
That's what you
go ahead
want.
and roll 3d6. And also
those
roll a
nines.
d4 on top of what you already, since you rolled it earlier and failed it. So add
All right.
3. Very good.
Yeah, so with the D4, it is a skill improvement of 12, up to
That's what you
55,
want. Hell yeah.
There
which
you
is
go.
perfect. So 55 is not a crit fail anymore.
You get back into this old familiar pattern and routine of movement from your days being in the military, the combat techniques they taught you. It's obvious that James has learned a few new things, given that he's with SEAL Team 7. The man's hardcore as fuck. But you're able to hold your own. Maybe you think he's holding back a little bit, because, let's be honest, he really could kick your ass if you wanted to. But you do give him a few good blows here and there, more than he was likely expecting. And shooting is up next. That was next on the agenda anyway, when you were talking on the phone.
Yep, so after all the sparring, the vests get dropped, the weight gets packaged back up, and probably also after showering, because we're gonna be sweaty as fuck. Reed returns to first and just says, so, shooting's next. You got a ride, or...
You don't want to say that's tomorrow? Just jump right back in? He smiles.
He then stops and, thinks about it for a little bit, gets reminded of all his muscles aching, and then says, yeah, alright, you know what? Yeah, it's probably a better idea. So, let's hit a bar.
That's the deal. Let's do it.
Yeah, You guys shower off, get cleaned up, put new clothes on, and it's not hard to find a bar in Hampton. Hell, it's not hard to find a bar really anywhere nearby, even in Baltimore. It just depends on where you want to go, if the drinks are going to be cheap, if you're looking for some finer stuff.
Oh, I do think the drinks are gonna be cheap, let's be real.
Okay. You drive out of, let's just say you drive out of Hampton a little bit more towards Baltimore proper, getting more into the city. You can see the skyline in the distance. You got different skyscrapers shooting up out. And yeah, you and James just hit up this little dive bar on the very edge of Baltimore, like not quite in the city, but there's enough foot traffic there that it's a place you are familiar with, Reed, and have been to once or twice before. And yeah, that's for shits and giggles. Both of you give me constitution rolls.
Oh, God.
14.
That's a
Oh,
success.
31. Under 50.
Very nice. Yeah, you guys hold your liquor, hold your beer pretty well, all things considered.
So I think Forrest James would have purchased a bottle of wild turkey, and
Okay.
that is what he would propose sharing for the evening.
Bourbon.
Sort of. I mean, wild turkey is loosely bourbon, I suppose. It's pretty awful.
I have never heard about it, so I just Googled it
It's-
and it says bourbon.
It's yeah, quotation marks. But technically
okay.
it's bourbon. It's very low shelf spirit.
It's,
yeah, I'm seeing the pricing.
Yeah, but I think that's what Forrest James would drink. So yeah, he just buys a bottle from the bar, even though they don't allow it. They somehow were convinced. You're not sure. There was kind of a whispered exchange, and then the bottle was produced and handed over. And yeah, if you want, James says, let's grab this pool table.
I'd be down for a game of pool. Yeah, sure. He gets the glasses and gets a little poke use. He gets 2 glasses and goes
You can
over
leave the
it.
glasses at the bar. We'll just drink from the bottle. He thrusts it in your direction.
Sure. He turns around, gives the glasses back and says, yeah, it's a civilian life, huh? Forget how all of this works.
Works the way you want it to, brother. As long as you're making it work on your own terms. He goes ahead and breaks, and he says, thing about pool, it's a lot like putting in time at the range. Breathing, alignment, something like a trigger squeeze, breathe out, steady. He goes ahead and hits the cue ball again. Sinks 2 balls. So if you want, you can get a leg up on tomorrow's training just by thinking about it. He smiles.
Everything's constant improvement, right?
Yeah, especially
We-
when you're in a spot like this. You see him look up and he stares at somebody across the bar, squinting with sudden hatred. It fades away, then he looks back to you. You're up, I missed.
Reed, give me a luck roll.
Oh, damn. Okay. Failure. 80 over 50.
Yeah, you go to hit one of the balls with your stick, and it doesn't go into the corner pocket you were aiming at. It bounces off the side.
Gotta breathe out, and then you pull the trigger. Remember?
Yeah, right. Oh, so I think I need a sip first, huh?
He passes you the bottle.
Yeah. Reed is not a big drinker. He likes to only drink with like people he likes, and doesn't just go out randomly and just drinks a lot. So he takes a sip, tries to not make a face, but ends up making one, hands the bottle back and just says, oh god, absolute shit. Holy fuck. No, gets the job done.
It does get the job done. I can testify to that. He takes a long swig, sets it down on the edge of the table, perhaps to the consternation of the bar owner. And
It doesn't grimace. Doesn't grimace either.
And yeah, he's using this opportunity, Max, to liken the activity of pool to the breath work, the calm trigger squeeze that is necessary for good marksmanship.
Yeah.
And he's honestly a little bit full of himself as he gets a little bit more alcohol in his system. Kind of pleased with this analogy that he's plucked out of a bar atmosphere, perhaps ad hoc. And he starts talking a little bit loudly about it, a little boastful as he sinks ball after ball, demonstrating his quote-unquote technique.
Yeah, your human read is high enough to realize that James is drinking a little bit more quickly and a bit more, maybe forcefully is not the right word, but just a he's going a little bit harder at it than maybe the last time you remember doing this with him, or maybe this has always been the case. It's hard to really put a finger on the exact nature of how much he has consumed or how much he regularly consumes, but he is starting to get a bit louder than you probably would like.
I mean, we are just entering the 90s, so it's not like Reed's gonna give a lot of fuck about him drinking way too much when it's like first time they've seen each other in over a year. So
That's fair.
That's not to his concern, because he's also drinking way more than he should, even if he is holding the alcohol well. And yeah, regarding Forrest just getting a little louder, a little rowdy, he just keeps an eye out on the people around, see if somebody gets rowdy too.
What are you looking at, Bug Eyes? He suddenly yells in the middle of your game, your third or fourth game, and he's turned towards somebody about 2 or 3 tables across the bar, at least that distance, singled them out and yelled this at them, staring at them with an incredible fury in his face, a twisted mask.
Yeah, before they can even respond, he just like puts a hand on his shoulder and just say, hey,
I don't like how he looks. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, I think he just pulls him back and says, take another swig, game's not finished. Fuck how they're looking at you, don't worry about it.
He continues to stare at this other gentleman across the bar. The fury in his face slowly melts away, and then suddenly it's gone like it was never there. He turns towards you and smiles. He says, you're right. This is, 4 in a row for me? Once I finish this, clean this up. He turns back to the pool table.
Oh god, maybe you should have just gotten involved and find that fucker over the bar. Okay, yeah, that's 4-0. Yeah, fuck that. Oh god, do we need another bottle, or are we going to another bar after?
I think that was the deal, right? You got both of the bars?
Yeah. Not gonna back down from that. And he pushes the balls. He's not in a condition where he's too keen about his aiming. Just gonna roll. You know what? I'm just gonna roll a firearms -20 to try to do what Forrest said. And it absolutely does not work.
Yeah, what the hell is Forrest James even talking about?
Yeah, I'm just sinking the white ball.
Yeah, this is 2 completely different methodologies and 2 completely different things in your mind. What the hell is he talking about? It's similar to breathing and you're just hitting balls, man.
Yep. Doesn't work like it used to be.
All right. I get it. It's been a while since you've gone out with one of your brothers. He smiles, knowing look at his eyes. He's definitely a little bit of a glitter in his eyes there. Listen, it's almost 2. Let's hit the range tomorrow at 10. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Then you owe me a drink after that. We'll make up for it. Rain check.
Okay. Sure. That's the plan. Oh, let's call a cab. I'm not driving in this condition.
Yeah. I got you covered, brother. He goes to the payphone in the bar, makes a call for a cab for Matthew, and when it arrives, he says, I'm gonna stay for one last nightcap. See you early tomorrow.
You sure?
You sleep well, brother.
Alright, just don't such shit with whoever looked wrong at you, okay?
Who? Me? I don't get into trouble like that. I'm a straight and narrow type of guy.
He gives you a long look before then just shrugging and saying, alright, sure. See you tomorrow.
He closes the cab door, hits the top of the hood twice, thumbs up the driver, and then goes back into the bar.
And Matthew Reed, you watch Forrest James disappear back into this bar that you have frequented a few times in the past. Given what was going on earlier and how he was eyeing up other people, it's hard to say whether or not he's going to stay out of trouble. Given all of that.
I think Reed knows that he's not going to stay out of trouble. But in his
Makes
mind,
sense.
It's also not his place to tell him not to.
He's an adult. He can suffer the consequences of his own choices.
Yeah,
Not
as
his
long
minder.
as the fucker shows up tomorrow to shoot some guns, he doesn't care.
10 a.m. Which you do realize that the next day is a Monday, which would normally be a work day. So up to you how you want to handle that with your boss.
I think Reed would probably have called ahead and taken at least 2 days off.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be a 1-day deal. It never is.
Yeah, and your boss, Frank Valentine, he's he's a stoic man, but you and him get along pretty well, and he knows that right now that there's uncertainty given your position being very particular and very specific with what you do. So
during the cab ride, there's this uncertainty of his job. Like, he thinks about, like, okay, tomorrow is Monday. Normally I'd have to work. But, like, as he leans his head on the window of the cab, trying to calm his probably soon starting headaches, he's thinking about what Forrest said about, like, not staying in this civilian, even though, like, his life's not too civilian, but yeah, he's still thinking about the offer of trading his job that's growing into an office job into something more oriented for field work. So yeah, that's what he's thinking about while driving home.
Yeah, and eventually you do get home. You pay the cab driver, and you stumble to the front door and pull with your duffel bag with your sweaty clothes from earlier in the day and the water bottle and everything. And so if you get your keys out and you get in your house and head upstairs to go to bed, you just barely managed to peel off your shirt, your pants, your shoes, but it basically just fall onto the bed in a not quite drunken stupor, but you feel pretty good. And just the sweet relief of laying on the bed, on the cold covers.
Yeah, he uses his favorite technique, aka the anchor, where just his left foot is hanging off the bed, sternly placed on the ground to anchor him so that his vision isn't turning, and he grabs a water bottle, like a big water bottle that's probably a bit of stale now that it's been sitting besides the bed, but he just chucks it until it's finished.
And then sleep comes to you. And you sleep for about 5 hours or so, waking up around like 8 a.m. You do have a bit of a headache, but you don't feel the need to throw up. But you do realize you need to drink more water, which you go down to the kitchen and you do. You do drink more water. How do you want to prepare to go to the range?
First of all,
or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, Reed basically told Forrest to crash with him, so he probably would have handed him the keys and the address, so he's checking on if he's even there.
He's not.
Yep, that's what I fucking thought. Damn.
Yeah, plus, how would you have given him your keys to get into your own house if it was locked, So, yeah, makes sense.
A man can have multiple sets of keys.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Spare key.
But he's not there.
He sighs. I just hope he's at the range. I want to call around every police office. So yeah, he prepares himself by drinking a lot, taking an aspirin, and yeah, gets ready to meet up at the gun range.
Yeah, and eyeing up right now all you have is your P7, because as good as it would be to take your MP5 SD, that thing is highly illegal.
Yep.
So that's staying home.
I also just want to point out that I still have one of the M4 Spectres.
Oh, that's right. You do have the Spectre.
Never threw it away, and I just kept it. So yeah, looking at the both of them, he's just very sad that he can't take him with him. So he's gonna get the suppressor of the P7 and just takes that one.
Yeah, and you get yourself ready to go. You remember you left your AMC Eagle at the bar, so you get a cab to go there to get your car. You then drive your car to Glen Burnie, Maryland with the P7 inside of its case. It opened at 9, and by the time, you get into the lot, it's about like 9:45. You head in, you get a spot for yourself. No sign of Forrest James yet.
I had kind of an idea too, if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, you could. Yeah. What if you like show up late or something? Or?
I was actually thinking he showed up right when it opened, and basically has taken over the long range bait, and he's using some ridiculous like antiquated 30-06 rifle from World War II it's just so loud. He's that asshole at the gun range with like the loudest, most ridiculous rifle, and it's single shot bolt action. It's just boom, and he's just destroying some long range target. Boom, he's just that guy.
I could see
that's
that.
kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Reed, when you begin to walk into the range, you can already hear the sound of a loud rifle. You know it's a rifle. You can tell by the sound. It's some sort of rifle that's going off inside. You can hear it even from out here. And when you get inside and you get up to the front desk with the worker, they look quite perturbed. And you go through the whole exchange, and you happen to look down the range, and you can see Forrest James down there, firing a loud rifle. You don't know what kind of make it is from where you're at right now, but he looks at you. You pay what you need to pay to get in, and you walk down the range to where you can see Forrest James is at. He's at the far side of it. He is clearly not following the customs of what should be done of people who are on the range. He's just firing the loudest thing that he has, apparently. And there's you with your P7 in its case.
So James, as you're getting fairly close, he fires one last ear-shattering round despite your protection, and turns as if just nonchalantly, as if he's been expecting you to be walking up beside him for a while now. Maddie, finally rolled out of bed.
Right on time, yeah. How long have you been going at it?
Oh, they open at 9. I would have been getting started a bit earlier, but guess they like to open up late to this part of the country, huh?
Well, they enjoy their sleep here.
It's a lot to be done. What do you got there in that tiny little case? He points to your hard case.
P7, Herr Klangkoch. And he lowers his voice. Only legal thing I could bring.
Oh, fair enough. I'm not sure this is. He motions over to what looks like some sort of World War II bolt-action relic. Springfield, he says. Nothing like it. 30-06. He motions down to a very far target. Looks like it has been really chipped away at with some massive caliber over and over again. Not surprising from what you've heard.
Yep.
Is this what you're going to be bringing into the field? Or you be bringing in something that, maybe a long arm? Because we should practice with whatever you're going to be using.
Oh, yeah, well, what I mostly bring to the field is a submachine gun, but long arm could also work.
Okay. Submachine gun, huh?
Yep.
Well, we're going to need to find you something to rent here with a bit of a kick then, won't we? He smiles.
Normally I'm using an MP5. Last time was an M4 Spectre, 45 ACP.
Well, they frown on letting loose with something like that here. In fact, I think the whole state does. But,
Yeah.
we can find something like that to move on single fire select. So let's get you something with a similar kick. We'll get started.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Let's do that. And I think they're, strolling over to where you can rent it.
Yeah, they got a couple selections of stuff. They've got a couple shotguns. They do have a couple of semi-auto rifles, bolt-action rifles. They do have an AR-15 model that is meant for single-fire shots. Full auto is not legal, so whatever you want to pick.
So they don't have a submachine gun, I see?
Let me see. And the guy walks to the back and he says, got an Uzi, single shot though, but that's to be expected. You want to give that a spin?
I think that's similar in caliber, but has way more kick because of how the thing's built, right?
It would be a 9mm.
Yeah,
Just like an MP5.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about normally that thing doesn't have a stock on it or
No, it does.
Oh, okay.
It's got a folding
cool.
stock. Yeah. Like normally it can be fired like from the hip, but if you want more precise aiming, you would pull. It's got a folding collapsible stock you can pull out, use that for aiming. So, choice is yours.
You know what? He's just gonna rent both the Uzi and the AR.
Okay.
Just to get a feel for different shit, not just using one to train.
So you pay the requisite money to get the AR-15, and it's just a generic AR-15 platform. There's no specific make and model. It's more closely resembled to an M16, which you and Forrest would be familiar with from your days in Vietnam. And then you are given the Uzi, which does have a sling, which also is very similar to the Spectre M4 that you used back in December. You head over to the range. You set some paper targets up. You put it on the mechanical line to send it down the range. And let's just kick it off first with this first bit. Give me a firearms roll, Matthew Reed.
All right. Yep. Success. 26 under 63.
Would you be using the Uzi or the AR-15?
Probably starting with the AR-15. Smiling while we're getting it ready, looking to Forrest and saying that thing brings one back, even if it's not the exact same thing.
And you fire a couple shots.
James is going to basically make this a competition between you two, as comrades do in this situation. But otherwise,
actually,
it's
Forrest. Give me a firearms roll.
Yeah.
Because I know his shit's pretty good.
27.
Nice. Yep, that is a success.
Like one better.
Yeah, only one better. You notice that his grouping is a little bit more centered than yours is, Reed? Just a little bit, not by much. Do you switch to the Uzi?
Yeah, after some time.
Yeah, give me another firearms roll.
Do you want to be? Do you want to use that for the mechanical or just?
This one will be for the mechanical, yeah.
Oh god. Okay, please fail this. 79 over.
Nice.
63.
Hell
Excellent, man.
3d6.
Give me a 3d6. Holy fuck.
15.
Holy fuck.
So yeah, his firearm is now at 78.
Excellent.
Yep. By the way,
Hell
for
yeah.
both skill improvements, I am taking points away from his second bond, Achim,
Yes.
which is now at 15.
Makes sense, yeah.
See, this is just what all agents need. They need a good friend in Forrest James, and then their skills go up.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
become friends with the future director. It's easy.
Yeah.
So as James is instructing you a bit, your grouping starts to improve. And at one point, you know, as he's kind of getting close to help you with grip and things like that, you can smell the guy is probably got some hair of the dog going on. At one point, he has to excuse himself. And when he does, you look over at that massive rifle. It's still mounted on the long range bay. And you see that there's a duffel bag there next to it. And it's open.
From here, not Rita's not like standing up and waltzing over, but if he's just like standing or kneeling, whatever position's better for shooting currently, like what he's training at, and he's like looking over. Is there what can he see in this wonderful little bag?
Yes, do tell.
It's clear that he brought some gun maintenance kits. Looks like several bottles of oil and brushes, cloths, small hard cases that maybe contain tools and brushes, that sort of thing. You've seen these types of kits before. But you also see what looks like an open wallet. And an ID is just staring up at you. And it's not Forrest James, you can tell from this distance.
Wait, the picture's not him or
Correct.
the rest? Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. Oh, fuck you, Chris. Oh, God. Forrest the Bond, the score's at like a 14. So, Reed does trust the man. He knows he works in DG. So, he's not gonna snoop. But the moment he returns, Reed just nods to the bag and says, get yourself a little help? Getting some wonderful documents, mate, or?
He looks a bit surprised for a moment, then it fades from his expression. Walks over to the duffel bag and kneels down next to it, zips it up, looks up at you, says, just happened to pick up the wallet of somebody who dropped it last night at the bar. I'll return it first chance I get. How's your grouping?
Getting tighter.
Good.
Oh, God, do I recognize the picture?
You think you have a good idea now.
So what the fuck are you? I ain't planning with that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'll be looking into a couple of folks that I may have formed a connection with last evening after you left to go home. Nothing serious. Not yet.
Oh God, yeah, sure. Just don't get yourself into the deep end, you know.
Oh, you know me. I'm always looking to spear the big fish. Something like this won't be a blip on the radar.
And what we're dealing with.
Let's go ahead and work on your grouping a bit more. I think you were pulling my leg a bit. Look at that. High left. Grab that Uzi. Let's get to work.
It's clear he's not going to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, that's right. His side stays a bit longer on Forrest, but then he just sighs and grabs the Uzi, shakes his head a little bit, whatever, and starts aiming.
And I want to say this goes on for maybe a few hours. Having rented a bunch of ammunition, each of you taking turns, firing down range. And Reed, over this period of time, you do feel it's becoming a lot easier. The muscle memory is retaining itself. You're memorizing the recoil. The Uzi you're discovering has a little bit more of a kick than the MP5 SD that you are intimately familiar with, given the fact that weapon is integrally suppressed and you know the recoil pattern of that weapon pretty well. But it's more, if you had to rate it somewhere, it would probably be below the Spectre M4 with the MP5 SD, of course, being the superior weapon in your mind's eye. You feel your grouping improving. You feel your shots are hitting center of mass, which, thinking back to New Hampshire, you'll be ready next time.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, the time comes. The parting of ways is imminent. It can be felt between the two of you. And you return the Uzi and the AR-15 to the employee at the front. James, whatever weapon that he has is his own, and he brought that with him. You can see that the employee is giving both you and James a perturbed, stern look, but doesn't say anything. It's just clear the guy can't hide his emotions on his face. And the two of you leave the range and are out in the parking lot now.
Maddie, don't forget what I said. If you're looking for a new gig, you know how to reach me. And remember, the only easy day, he smiles, was yesterday. You're gonna do fine.
Yeah. I'll keep it in mind. And maybe next time you hear from me, we're working again. Let's see. Maybe it works out. And he reaches out a hand.
Forrest James comes in, gives him another big hug, slaps him on the back. Be safe, brother. And he turns, and he walks through the parking lot towards the street.
Reed then just also says, yeah, be safe, and if there's trouble coming up, any sort of trouble, you also know where to find me.
Then you'll be hearing from me soon. Turns back, walks away.
Yep, Reed's just left standing there, leans against his AMC, and gets out the first cigarette. He kind of forgot it yesterday after his condition was shit, so he's now finally taken out one of the cigarettes, lights it up, and slowly inhales a deep first breath.
There's a lot to think about as you stand there in the cool January air next to your vehicle. A lot to think about. It's just a matter of time before you realize that the group will come calling eventually, and you'll be sent on yet another foray to deal with any unnatural threats that come to you. But for now, this has been good. You feel like you have genuinely done the work to improve yourself, to make yourself a sharper knife, a sharper tool. And as you stand there, pulling on your cigarette, there's just a lot to think about.